Good morning. My name is Emma Campbell and I'm the Music and Choir Director here. On behalf of the temperature, I apologise, but our router went out and it takes out all the programming for heat, so you're going to have to sing just a little lustily this morning so that we can warm up beautifully. I apologise if you're chilly. We have spare coats in the coat rack area. If not, move with the first hymn and you might be toasty. Thank you very much and sorry. Thank you. Over to you.
That's a huge wow. Thank you. Good morning. My name's Daphne Blunt. I'm an older woman with white hair, and my pronouns are she and her. Welcome you all to First Parish. Today's theme is the Times They Are A-Changin. This is a lay-led service designed to spark imagination, inquiry, hopefully a few smiles. We're delighted to extend a warm welcome to the representatives from the Waltham Philharmonic Orchestra, a Jones Partnership recipient. We are thrilled that you've come to share your music with us, and we hope you'll join us in Whitcomb Hall after the service for coffee. Please, let's open the service with Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, hymn number 361 in this black and blue hymnal. We will sing the last line, Don't Be Afraid of Some Change, more than once, and we encourage you to move and dance as the Spirit moves you while you sing.
It says in the order of service, the Zoomers can say hello to one another, I guess. So hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
How many people only getting one audio channel? Raise your hand. No, I have both.
What was the question, Kira?
Yeah, we're only getting the Zoom. Is that what we want?
Are they praying us in the sanctuary?
Well, welcome, Zoomers. We hope that we want to hear a joyful noise from you, but we'll do the best we can and welcome you all, and hopefully we'll get to see your faces in a second. Karen, was there a few more things you wanted to say?
Good morning. This is a service about change. Yes, you're on.
Be flexible.
Be flexible.
This is a service about change. So we're changing things today. And I'm Ken Johnson.
And I'm Cynthia.
And we're going to light the chalice. So she'll do the lighting, and I'm going to tell you that we have a chalice lighting here from the shaman Beatrice Poolney, who states, "In spiritual matters, there is value in staying with the questions and allowing an answer to emerge from the not knowing. There is immense blessing in not immediately jumping to an answer that someone else might hand to you. Spirituality is not only about what happens on the yoga mat or the meditation cushion. In the healing room or in the journey space, it is as much about what happens in the messiness and beauty of our lives." Thank you.
Okay, please be seated. Just a couple of questions to think about. Did you change your seat? Are you in the same old seat, in the same old place that you always sit? If you are, think about why. What would be different if you sat way in the back or way up in the front where you could really hear and see what was going on? It is an invitation to those of you who are willing to change where you are sitting. Let's do it for those of you who are willing. And then I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You don't need to answer, but just think about it. If you changed your seat, why did you change your seat? If you failed to change your seat, why did you refuse to change your seat? What was in it for you? What is in it for you in relation to this wonderful space? I'm going to ask a lot of questions. That's part of changing what you hear from the podium. Okay? You don't need to answer. You can if you want to, because this is a service about change. This is a service about understanding when we do something different, how do we feel about that? What's the resistance? In what in ourselves is the resistance? You don't need to answer that right now. So we are going to move on to the wisdom tale, the wonderful wisdom tale from our beloved April Rosario, the lucky, for us, lucky spirit of joy. Because whenever I see April, I just feel happy. Oh, I just smile. I automatically smile. Why? Because she is the spirit of joy here. And then I respond to it by curling my lips up so that I have a smile. But it's a spiritual, comes from way within. Thank you, April, for your presence.
Thank you, Karen. You make me smile too. Good morning, everybody. You all make me smile too. As Karen said, I'm April Rosario. My pronouns are she, her. I am a Black woman in my 30s, late 30s, with medium-length dreadlocks. And I am so honored to serve as your Director of Faith Formation. Today's story is one that Karen and Daphne picked. And it is called, Who Moved My Cheese? and it's an abridged version, but the original was by Spencer Johnson, MD. And what I love about this story is one thing didn't change. The way this story was written, it started with the way I love to start all of my stories. So for those of you that have been with us before, please help our newer folks know how I love to start a story. We start them with once upon a time. Ow, piano. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, lived 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, characters. 2 were mice named Sniff and Scurry, and 2 looked a lot like people named Hem and Haw. Every day, all 4 spent time in a large maze, looking for their own special cheese. The maze was so large, it was very easy to get lost in it. Sniff and Scurry would use trial and error to find cheese and run up and down the quarters, turning down one quarter after another. Unfortunately, no cheese. Hem and Haw also learned from past experiences, but sometimes their people brains filled with beliefs and emotions clouded how they looked at things. One day, they all found cheese station C. It had a giant wedge of cheese. Sniff and Scurry woke up every morning and raced down the corridors to get to station C. Hem and Haw decided to move all of their things to station N and then to station C and put up curtains and sat on couches. All 4 of them ate until their bellies got full and noticed their tummies were getting a little wider. Having cheese makes you happy, they thought, until one day when there was no more cheese. The mice decided to leave and scurried away quickly to find more cheese somewhere else. Hem yelled and screamed, "It's not fair! Who moved my cheese?" Haw turned him out. For Hem, cheese meant feeling safe. For Hem, it meant becoming a big cheese and getting a big cheese house in Camembert Hill. Hen and Haw couldn't believe it and felt an injustice had been done. They went back home hungry and discouraged. Hem even wrote on the wall, "The more important your cheese is to you, the more you want to hold on to it." The next day, Hem and Haw went back to station C. Still no cheese. "Why would they do this to me?" Hem asked. Haw said they were Sniff and Scurry. Hem said, "They are simple mice. We are smarter than the mice. Why should we change? We are special and entitled to our cheese." Hem said, "Maybe we should stop analyzing and find some new cheese." "Oh no," said Haw. Meanwhile, although it took some time, Sniff and Scurry had found a giant new supply of cheese in station N. Yum. Haw wondered about the mice and suggested that they leave station C. "No," said Hem. "I like it here. It's comfortable, and it's dangerous out there." So Hem and Haw stayed and stayed and got thinner and hungrier. Haw eventually said, "We keep doing the same thing, expecting things to change." Let's go look for the cheese. Hem argued, what if there is no cheese? Ha started to move out of the maze. He was a little anxious. He wrote on the wall, if you do not change, you become extinct. Then he felt fear and asked, what would you do if you were afraid? I know. But Ha left anyway. Sometimes Ha got lost in the maze, but admitted it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad that he was afraid. Ha also realized that he had been watching and waiting all along. He wouldn't have been surprised if the cheese had disappeared. He had ignored the smelly mold, stinky, smelly cheese, that had been growing on it. He decided to stay more alert and noticed when change was going to occur. He wrote on the wall again, smell the cheese often so you know when it's growing old. Ha was getting tired and more hungry. He decided to move in a different direction, even though he sometimes got a little scared. Anyone here ever been scared when they move in a different direction? Yeah. He wrote, when you move beyond your fear, you feel free. And instead of fear, he began to imagine himself enjoying his new cheese, even though he hadn't found it yet. Ha followed his signs back to Hem. Hem said, I don't think I'd like new cheese. I want my old cheese back. Ha realized it was natural for change to occur, whether you expect it or not. Change would surprise you only if you didn't expect it, he thought. He wrote, it is safer to search the maze than remain in a cheeseless station. Old beliefs don't lead you to new cheese. Ha continued through the maze with more strength and speed, and suddenly he was at cheese station N. Found it, with huge mounds of all different kinds of cheese. More than he had ever imagined. Oh, and don't worry, Sniff and Scurry were there too. Ha laughed at his process. He had let go of the past. He admired Sniff and Scurry's way of not overanalyzing and just moving on. Look at how fat and happy they were. He had left his message signs on the walls for Hem to follow. Would Hem follow? He knew Hem would have to make his own decision. Then Ha heard a noise just beyond station N. Could it be Hem? Ha surely hoped so. The end. I love this story for lots of reasons. But one of the reasons I love it is because the challenge is right there, as yellow as cheese. Change happens whether we want it or not. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's scary. It's almost always an adventure. Your challenge today, if you choose to accept it, is to lean into this service. Think about how change shows up in your life, where it could show up in your life. And decide if you're ready to buckle up and hold on for the ride.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Nancy Lawrence, a member on Care Council here in First Parish. We've made some changes in the care program. So I will
Oh my gosh, thank you. Forgot. Thank you very much. At this time, when we are having joys and concerns, we're making space for time across generations. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we gather to share our real lives, knowing that we are not alone. Our celebrations grow richer when they are shared, and our burdens feel lighter when held in community. Some of our children and youth have shared that they would like to be part of this joys and concerns part of the program. And so we are now eager to hear their voices. Today, any children and youth who wish to share are invited to go first before heading out to their faith formation classes. Adults will then join us at the front, and we can then tell our own joys and concerns. Anyone who wishes, as a young person, to come forward can take this microphone, express their joy or concern, and then light a candle for so that we can remember you and share with you. So are there young people here who would like to come forth?
And that seems to be it.
If anyone would like to add a candle at the end of the service, please do, because we want to make sure that if you have a care of concern that you didn't feel comfortable coming forward, we'd like to have you recognized here. So, thank you.
Our next hymn will be Spirit of Life, and found in the order of service because I don't have the number here. 1, 2, 3. What does that mean? Oh, I thought it was 1, 2, 3. That's when we're going to start singing. It's hymn number 1, 2, 3. Please be seated. and join me in the spirit of meditation. May we cultivate presence and awe while we attune to murmurs and shimmers within us and around us. Whether it be the spark of a new idea, a vulnerable share from someone we love, or unexpected warmth from someone we don't know. May we continue to attune to what Reverend Howard Thurman called the sound of the genuine within ourselves. May we become quiet enough and still enough to notice the call deep within us that lures us towards what matters most, this call that lures us towards freedom and purpose. We ask for guidance and space and time to do just that so we can lead the lives we feel most called to live. Today we remember the people who have paid close attention to us in our lives. These people have loved us into being through the way they witnessed us. The way they attuned to us both strengthened us and transformed us. There may be only one person we think of who has done this for us throughout our lives. We give thanks to them today. We say, thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for paying close attention to the stirrings of my heart. Let's have a moment of silence. We'll close with, may we find a way to say, I'm here with you. I'm paying close attention to the stirrings of your heart. May we continue to cultivate the practice of paying close attention so that more people feel lovingly held in our hurting world. May we meet this moment and all the moments ahead with spaciousness and presence. And may we deeply and lovingly witness the person in front of us, beside us, and within us.
Oh, this is mic'd, right? Yeah. Good. How do you feel about where you are sitting now? Does this feel comfortable? Do you feel odd in a different place? Did you refuse to move, staking your claim where you always are? Did you move and you feel, this really feels good. I like it from here. It's a different view. I like it from here too. So I don't need to hold the mic. That's wonderful that it's here already. That's how things happen when somebody else does something for you. Somebody else made sure that there would always be a mic here, so people struggling to come up here would not have to hold the mic, straggling along the way. Good morning. My name is Karen Klein. I think most of you know that. I am 89 years old with almost all white. I hope all white soon. I am looking down toward my 90th year, which feels very frightening. It's sort of the last lap toward 100, isn't it? So wish me happy journey along my way. Now, I'm going to talk to you this morning about anxiety, because change is also anxious, anxiety-provoking. We are presenting the positive views of change. It's fun, it's different, it's exciting, it gives possibility, it opens us to new things, things we might dare to do on our own. But if everybody is moving their seat in the sanctuary, we're going to feel comfortable doing it too. Or if we stay where we always stay, we're going to wonder, what is it about this place in the sanctuary that I really like being in that particular place? But I'm going to talk about change as anxiety, not as pleasure. Let's go back to 1947, 1948. I'm 11 years old. I'm at the top of the heap, 6th grade. I am captain of the kickball team. The kickball team is what the girls play. The boys get to play soccer. But we get to kick that ball around, and I am loving it. It's great. I'm doing well. I have friends. I feel good. I'm 11 years old. Then I have to change schools. Why? Because I'm graduating from the 6th grade, and Jefferson School ends after the 6th grade. What does this mean? It means my familiar path that I walk on to get to school is changed. I have to go in a different direction. I have to go to a new school where I have never been. I'm scared because this new school is a junior high. And this new school feeds in, not just from Jefferson, where I know everybody, but from Emerson Smith, from Hawthorne, from Clara Barton. And those schools are all in different economic areas than my family house is in. So I'm leaving a really cushy position where I feel good and like on top of everything. And now I get scared. That's not a usual feeling for me because I'm pretty ballsy anyhow, and always have been since I learned at age 9 that if I didn't get out there, nobody was gonna come and get me. So if I wanted to make friends, if I wanted to be with people, if I wanted to be a leader, get out there, because unless I do it, I'm the only one that can do it. So that's the first lesson. But now, having done 6th grade so well, now I have to walk differently. I have to go in a different direction. I have to meet kids from 3 other different elementary schools. Am I going to be a leader? If not, who's going to be the leader? Is it my job, or can I just relax? No. I'm scared. I'm really scared. And I spent the whole summer after 6th grade, before I entered junior high, 7th grade, really frightened. And every night I'd go to bed and my mother would be sitting in the living room reading her mystery stories. I have inherited that tendency from her. And she wanted the quiet of her mystery story. What she didn't want was a terrified 11-year-old getting out of her bed and coming to sit with Mother, because somebody has to listen. That's what mothers are for, isn't it? And she put up with a whole summer of my saying, is anybody going to like me? Will I be popular? Those of you nobody here is as old as I am, I think, to remember when the greatest anxiety we possibly could have was not the atomic bomb, was not nuclear warfare, was not racial and religious strife, etc. It was popularity. Everybody wants to be popular. And so every night I got out of bed, interrupted my mother reading her mystery story, and am I going to be popular? That woman was a saint. I think of myself, I'm a mom and a granny. I don't have her patience. I don't have the kind of patient love that my mother showed me. So, what is the moral of this story? The moral of this story is everybody needs a listener, someone who cares, and someone who has the patience to listen and hear us out. And once we feel truly heard, it's going to be a lot better next time. It's going to be less scary, the confrontation with change and newness. So, right now, I am going to change my gears here, and since it is a service about change, I am going to ask for your change in just a moment, but first what I'm going to ask for is that you listen to a very boring recital. That's what we all think it is. It's a very boring recital. And we zone out. Oh, we heard it all before, right? But somebody compiles the week's announcements. So my challenge to you this morning is listen. You might hear something that you don't know. And that's what the announcements are for, to spread information so you don't make a mistake or whatever. So, you know that we have hearing helpers and large print versions of service materials available from our ushers. I forgot to put in my hearing aids this morning. I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure I can hear myself. The weekly newsletter is available on our website, and paper copies are at the entrance. So if you wanted printed material, a lot of us do want printed material, that's available. But should you wish to have an emailed copy each week, please speak to our, and I'm not sure where our greeters are or ushers. Yay! Right back there, Carla. Okay. So if you want to have a weekly newspaper emailed to you, talk to Carla at coffee hour. Do you want to donate flowers? Well, we have some flowers up there, but I think Michael said that they're from last week's service or a funeral or whatever, celebration. We used to have a flower lady. I was a flower lady. Joyce Wilborn, I hope you are on Zoom this morning. You were a flower lady. And we had times, months, that we were responsible to find somebody else, which meant that we were haggling as many people as we could to donate flowers, to make sure that there were flowers there each Sunday. It is a failure in community when we have fake flowers. Think about it that way. What does having the same old up there when they're not real? What does that mean? Okay, pastoral care, which is wonderful, is available to everyone. And there are people here, I think Nancy, your pastoral care. Is there anybody else here who, yeah, feel good? So those of you who might want, hello, hello. Yeah. I'm moving on. Okay, we have one new pledger this week, so we have 22 out of 57 households. So, fella, where are the 37 others? Step up and make your pledge. Fill in the form online or get a paper form at coffee hour. And I don't see Janet Riley here. Dan DeHano is here somewhere. Danny, there. Okay, if you want a pledge form, Dan DeHano has them. The auction is coming in April, and visit the newsletter or contact Kayla or Leslie. Where is Leslie? I thought I saw Leslie Gildersleeve right back there. Contact Leslie for what you might be willing to donate. Now, next Sunday after the service, so come next Sunday and be prepared to stay, because we are going to vote on the grant recommendations from the Jones Partnership Committee. Thank you, Marty. People have worked very hard to get all of this together. Yes, I'm moving right on. Passover Seder, April 3rd in Whitcomb Hall from 6:30 to 9, Friday, April 3rd. And please bring something, a dish or a beverage to serve. And thank you to everybody who has contributed to Coffee Hour this week. So now we will turn to our wonderful music ensemble. Welcome to them, and many thanks.
Well, I found that was beautiful. I am Ken Johnson. I use he, him pronouns, and today I'm here to read for you a poem called Famous from the poet Naomi Shihab Nye. The river is famous to the fish. The loud voice is famous to silence, which knew it would inherit the earth before anybody said so. The cat sleeping on the fence is famous to the birds watching him from the birdhouse. The tear is famous briefly to the cheek. The idea you carry close to your bosom is famous to your bosom. The boot is famous to the earth, more famous than the dress shoe, which is famous only to floors. The bent photograph is famous to one who carries it, not at all famous to the one who is pictured. I want to be famous, shuffling men who smile while crossing streets, sticky children in grocery lines, famous as the one who smiled back. I want to be famous in the way a pulley is famous or a buttonhole, not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do. Thank you.
And now, well, I thought we were going to do a hymn, but I realized I skipped ahead. So it's time for the sermon. In the interest of time, I'm going to jump around a little bit, so it might not be as smooth. But anyway, I'm going to do the best I can. So, good morning. Spring again. Spring is a time for birth, renewal, and looking at things with fresh eyes. At my house, we put in new windows because several of the windows had started to fog up. My partner Steve said the house seemed brighter with the new windows. I said, it's because the windows are clean. We had lived in the house for 10 years, never realizing how the dirty windows limited our view. Spring is now here, and for some of us, that means spring cleaning, not just the windows, but other places in the house that need attention. For instance, like all the food things that I buy on sale that now have since expired but still sit on the shelves. In the interest of strengthening our First Parish community, I suggest we be open to a spiritual spring cleaning, and like Bob Dylan's Nobel Prize committee, look at things in a new way. For newcomers, I want to say if this is your first time, you count. You come to us with ideas and expectations without any history of this is the way it's always been. That is so valuable. Yet, we have to remember there may be very valid reasons to continue in a certain way, and that's worth examining. I encourage all newcomers to think about what they came for looking for today and the expectations they have, and I hope we can talk after the service. For some of us that are more regular here, I'm going to mention some changes that I think are good, and to realize that lots of faiths do the same thing. But before we do that, I want to tell you about, have you ever heard of the term spiritual assets? Do you know what that term means? The definition comes from the research at the University of Kansas, and it refers to qualities that enable us to do what is right and good for ourselves and for others. It can be seen in what we say and do, our acts of compassion, mercy, justice, and other similar ways of being in the world. Here's what the university outlines as assets in a community, and how here at First Parish we measure up. Being charitable towards others. We pledge, we have a breakfast program. We open the church one bitter cold night and let people sleep in a warm place. Being compassionate. We have pastoral care. We support our youth through the RE program. Forgiveness and reconciliation. We have a relational covenant, and we have our committee on ministry. Appreciation. Gratitude, spreading hope with the choir, the music. We support our staff through all the transitions in the past and are grateful for their gifts. Sharing hospitality. How about coffee hour, game night, the children's fair? Practicing humility. The willingness to welcome a service about challenging the status quo. I consider that a real strength. Advocating for justice. Supporting ICE protests, Black Lives Matter. Showing tolerance and acceptance. Being a welcoming congregation and ally to LGBTQ. And I'm adding creativity. Poetry, the flower and bread services, the wisdom tale, the music direction and selection. In many ways, our spiritual home is a full house, chock full of spiritual assets. That's great news. But I think there's some corners of this house we could take a closer look at. A worship survey taken in the late fall revealed the top 3 reasons people come to First Parish are music, community, and the sermon. Maybe not this sermon, but other sermons. With community being number 1. We have the service, we have the choir, social action, coffee hour, game night, Fifth Friday, meditation. But could there be more opportunities to have more intimate conversation along with the large group activities? Introverts can get lost in large activities. Are we unintentionally missing them? What more quiet routines can we think of? There's a worship template in the pews that took some time to create and outlines the order of service. An established routine can create safety. It takes a lot of work and effort and many players to put a service together. But I have to admit, sometimes I found the order of service a little too predictable, and that comfort zone actually makes me uncomfortable. I want a little more variety. We come to church and are warmly greeted at the door, then we move like magnets, as we saw today, to our usual general area. We give a quick friendly wave to our friends on Zoom, and then for the next 60 minutes, we face forward. If I look out from where it's the timer to keep me on track. Clearly it's not doing its job. So if I look out from where I'm standing, I see your faces. But if you look out from where you're sitting, most of what you see are the backs of people's heads and maybe 1 or 2 comb-overs. We are a community gathered in a circle of shared values. Yet our physical routine has us lined up like passengers on a bus, staring at the person in front of us, but rarely into the person in front of us. We get a glimmer during candles of joys and concerns. When the service ends, we say some hellos, we form a line, we say thank you to the spiritual leader. And sometimes I hear a whisper of what someone thought or felt, but so often it's as if we didn't just share a profound joint experience. We've become masters at parallel play. Often on my way to First Parish, I listen to Hidden Brain. A few weeks ago, the speaker noticed that some of the mass shootings were extreme examples of trying to feel noticed and significant. The shooters wanted to feel significant even though they knew they might themselves be harmed in their attempt. The podcast and my own concern about, do I fit in here, got me thinking, and I decided to ask the question, what does it mean to be accepted or embraced by the First Parish community? I talked to several people, all of whom have been here for more than 5 years. 3 of those people said they felt like outsiders, although by outward appearances, they're very involved in the community. A very long-term member was grateful I spoke to them at coffee hour because they felt insignificant. Instead of embraced, maybe my wording should have been, do you feel loved at First Parish? I wonder how it can be that love is central to our mission, but people feel insignificant or like outsiders. Is it an individual issue, a community problem, or a little bit of both? John Wellward in Perfect Love and Perfect Relationships remarks that perfect love is felt within each of us when we can love and accept ourselves. He notes that a relative love is based on relationships with other people, and that it's dynamic, ever shifting, because constant love for another can be difficult to maintain. Often we use the term church family, but you know, the word family can have both positive and negative expectations based on our own family history. Is that the right word to describe a spiritual community? What expectations do you have of the First Parish community? What would feeling loved look like to you? Do we each need to do internal and external work? What do you think would help make you feel significant here if you don't? What do you think you could do to make someone else feel valued? We need to remember that there's a person behind the problem. The podcast went on to say if someone feels they don't matter, that they can become irritable and push people away. Then the receiver pulls back and the person becomes more convinced they don't matter. How do we employ our relational covenant in a way that shows love, even when there's disagreement? How do you handle disagreement? I have to admit, I hide from it or I can get a bit snarky. How do you handle disagreement here? And how do we do it? Do we walk away and still feel cared for? Or do we just walk away? The positive news is that the podcast suggests being of service to others can make one feel like they matter. Take a second and reflect on how you made a difference to someone. Perhaps volunteering and acting in stewardship has more benefits than people realize. Was there a time at First Parish where you felt truly cherished? And what made the difference? If you've never felt that way, let's look into it. What's reasonable to expect from the community? And what is reasonable for the community to expect from us? Looking beyond our church's walls, not only do we have changing demographics within the city of Waltham, but some of its citizens live in fear of opening the door. Within First Parish, we have social action leaders who help facilitate protests against ICE. They saw a need and changed the course of their daily lives to make a difference. Those acts of service need no spring cleaning and are definitely spiritual assets. But I wonder, as Waltham becomes more ethnically diverse, how do we pivot and find new cheese? I heard in April's sermon a couple of weeks ago about UU being a religion of community and relationships. The members and staff, as members and staff, we have a shared ministry and covenant. The fourth principle emphasizes that we look beyond the door, beyond the me, and focus on the greater good of we and us. Currently, we don't have a called minister, but we certainly have committed staff and members who each week guide us through this time of uncertainty and change with spirit, wisdom, and grace. What could have been a disaster has turned into an opportunity to tap into all the gifts attached to this community. We also have opportunities to look deep into the status quo and see what works well, what did serve us in the past, but maybe not so much anymore, and what is just plain old habit that we do without thinking. Let's make a habit of talking as a community at large and sharing our voices and asking questions. Come join Karen and I after the service in the Harrington room. I don't have all the answers to some of the questions I've raised, but I bet collectively we all do. Just like the wind ensemble is comprised of individual instruments, but combined makes magical music, let's find some cheese together. Please join me now, and all of us, and in our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, hymn number 1064 in the teal hymnal, in whatever way makes sense for you. And now we're going to turn the service over to Peter on Zoom.
Now is the time in the service to say our covenant. You will find it in the order of service. Please hold hands with the person next to you, or if you're on Zoom, lift your hands to your chest with your palms up. Think about what it means to you to say the covenant. Please join me in saying the covenant out loud. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Oh, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for your patience and for your being here in community. Thank you for your willingness to accept some change, to move your seats, or stay where you wanted to be and be proud of that. It's wonderful to be in community. Now let's go have coffee.
And thank you again to the orchestra. They did a fabulous job. Thank you so much. Emma, and everyone that participated. Let's go have some coffee, and hopefully you'll join us in the Harrington room.